Hi, I'm Michael. Welcome to class, everyone. How is your career? Are you satisfied with it? Perhaps your answer to both of these questions is yes. But what about your future? Are you currently pursuing career development? Or are you unable to move forward, making excuses about why you're not progressing? Or maybe you feel it's just not important to develop your career. Whatever your situation is, keep an open mind and let's look together at the importance of career development. We're going to talk about three things in today's lesson. First, why is career development important? Second, we'll discuss the opinions and factors that influence career development. And third, we'll learn how to make a career plan. Let's start with the basics. First, what is the difference between a job and a career? A job is simply an activity someone regularly does in exchange for payment. Jobs typically do not require extensive training or education. When someone goes to their job, they are simply concerned with doing their job, getting paid, and going home. It doesn't necessarily involve a long-term plan. A career is different. A career is not just any job. Unlike a job, it requires special training or education. It involves a sequence of related jobs in one or several industries, like a career in education, for example. There are even some people who say that one's career goes beyond work. It includes many aspects, including learning and progressing through life. In order for someone to be successful in their career, they need to learn how to develop it. Career development is the process of moving toward a preferred future in one's career. It is a vital part of one's personal development, since our career affects so many aspects of our lives. It normally starts when someone graduates from high school and lasts their entire lifetime. Developing one's career starts with education and preparation before one even begins to work. In universities, trade schools, and training institutes, students select a career or subject to study. The career or subject they select helps them acquire the skills and knowledge needed to succeed in their future career. Many educational institutions provide career counselors to assist students with the early stages of their career development. Career development has become important within companies. In today's world, more employers are looking for ways to promote their career development and encourage employees to drive their own careers. Your career development is in your hands alone, and it's time to take control of it. So, how do we take control of our career development? Like with any goal, the first thing needed to achieve that goal is a plan. If we don't have a plan, we may get stuck in limbo or a situation we don't know how to escape from. Let's say you are stuck in a dead-end job and join a new company for a better opportunity. Your new company seems to be filled with great opportunities, but not long after joining, you find there is nothing to show for all your hard work. When you ask about how a person gets rewarded or acknowledged, you are told that teamwork is valued over individual efforts. You then remember hearing this in the interview process, but what you didn't understand was that your personal efforts were not going to get you ahead in the new company. Then you are stuck again, wondering what to do about your career. This is why it is essential to plan your goals to achieve your dream. you need to develop specific goals and map out a course on how to reach them. To do this, you need to determine what is important to you. Unfortunately, many people wander off course rather than sticking to where their true interests lie. For example, so many people take a job even though they know it is not the right fit, and they end up being dissatisfied with their career. Even if we make the perfect plan, things may not go as we originally had hoped. There are a number of factors which influence career development. Generally, they fall into two categories: internal and external. Internal factors are those which come from within ourselves, and we have direct control over. We mentioned one example of this earlier, which is goals and interests. What we are interested in directly affects our career development. If we are stuck doing a job we are not interested in, chances are we will lack the motivation needed to succeed. And from this, we will not develop in our career. Instead, we'll remain stuck. A leader can easily see who is truly interested in what they are doing and who isn't. If we align our goals with our interests, we'll have a clear target we can achieve. And we will have the motivation to help us achieve it. Also, your personality has a lot to do with your career. For example, someone who is very sociable might find sitting at a computer all day boring. A job that involves interacting with people, like being a teacher, might be a better choice. While it's true that everyone has their own personality, companies and leaders generally favor certain personality types. Typically, people who are outgoing, self-motivated, positive, and confident are desirable. That being said, it is true that people with different personalities tend to do better in different career types. For example, if you're an outgoing person, working all day on the computer as a software engineer might not be the best fit. Or perhaps being a kindergarten teacher isn't the best choice if you aren't very energetic. In short, try to match your career to your personality. Something critical that harms one's career development is attitude. Ultimately, your career is all about you. Hold yourself accountable for your life and the choices you make. Rather than playing the victim and feeling sorry for yourself, take charge of your situation and take action. Once you can see that you control your career development, a world of opportunities will open up. Your attitude toward your career is reflected in all areas of your career. Someone with the right attitude toward their career will be punctual. Being a punctual person is more than just being on time for work every day. It's also about getting your work done and not procrastinating. We shouldn't postpone completing our work unless we have a good reason for doing so. What does postpone mean? Let's look at what our course says. To postpone means to delay or put off something until a later date. If you are someone who postpones work without a good reason, your boss will see you as someone who is not responsible enough to get work done. It may also be a sign that you do not have the drive or passion to succeed in your career development. Another important aspect needed to succeed in career development is having the right abilities and skills. No doubt, we need to continuously develop skills related to our career if we want to advance. This includes both hard skills and soft skills. Hard skills are specific abilities that can be defined and measured, like speaking a foreign language or using a software program. By contrast, soft skills are less tangible, such as getting along with others and listening skills. We won't get into too much detail about these skills. Just remember that you should keep updating your skills so you move forward in your development. There is one ability in particular I would like to talk about today: handling pressure. While there are many abilities needed in the workplace, handling pressure is often overlooked. Whether you are a stockbroker or an IT engineer, every job has a certain amount of pressure, and it needs to be dealt with properly. Let's take a look at another ability that is overlooked: risk-taking. For companies, innovation is urgently needed for economic growth and finding solutions, and risk-taking is essential to innovation. Young people entering their careers need to take risks to find solutions and address everyday challenges. Often, risks are seen as negative because they are dangerous and should be avoided. However, experiencing failure as a result of risk-taking can help you build resilience to setbacks. And it can help young people manage risks better in the future. Through practice, young people can learn to recognize opportunities to develop their career rather than play safe and restrict their potential. Besides internal factors, there are several external factors which can affect career development. Contrary to internal factors, external factors come from outside sources. We usually don't have control over these issues, but they still influence us. One example of this is company decision-making. While employees do have a voice in most companies, there are still various decisions which remain out of our control. Let's take a look at some of them. First, perhaps you will be promoted. While there are many things a person does that leads to a promotion, it is still in the hands of the boss whether they want to promote someone or not. To promote means to move someone up in an organization, usually because they have done a good job. Second, perhaps you will be transferred to a new office location or department. To transfer means to move someone or something from one place to another. This can be voluntary, but oftentimes it is not. Third, perhaps you will be laid off. To lay off means to fire or sack a worker. This can be for a number of reasons. The most common reason for being laid off is the company needing to cut costs. Workers may also be laid off if positions have to be cut, like for outsourcing. If a company merges with another, the change could cause a shift in the company's goals. The new goals of the company may require layoffs. Something else that affects our career development is our interpersonal relationships. This includes our relationship with both our colleagues and our boss. Some people can be very difficult to work with and work for. Not everyone in the company shares the same passion or drive that you do. This can cause conflict. In addition, your personality may conflict with your leaders. In our course, two colleagues chat together about a problem. Let's listen to what they say.
You may not be aware of it, but I have real problems with my supervisor, Bill.
Oh, what kind of problems?
He takes on projects and assigns them to me with no regard for my other responsibilities. It's just too much. Then he takes all the credit for my work.
I know it's difficult, but you need to learn how to deal with people like him.
Well, I don't know. It's really stressful. It isn't easy for me to talk to him.
Certainly, one's financial resources affects career development. Someone with more money is able to afford a better education, leading to a better job. Additionally, we may have many obligations that drain our financial resources. In China, the cost of living continues to increase. Necessities like buying a house are becoming more and more expensive. People often need to sacrifice what they want to do for a more lucrative career in order to afford obligations like this. For example, perhaps someone works in a company that is comfortable and non-stressful. They are overall satisfied with their job, but they decide to change to a more stressful but higher-paying job in order to financially support their family. These types of obligations could motivate someone to develop their career strictly for money. Or they could be demotivated, not feeling fulfilled in their career, and thus not pursue development. Family issues may also hinder someone from reaching their full career potential. A spouse may not be supportive of their significant other getting a promotion. A promotion could mean spouses will have less time to spend together. We only have a limited amount of time each day, and people do need to devote time to their families. Some people even need to take time off to care for family members in need. Many women sacrifice their careers in order to take care of their families. Now we know factors and opinions that influence our career development. So let's move on to the question you've all been waiting for. What steps do I need to follow to make a career development plan? The first thing you need to do is a self-assessment. A self-assessment helps you understand your personal and career goals, interests, strengths, and weaknesses. It is important to understand your skills, knowledge, and personal qualities so you can match them to your career. This will also help you identify the knowledge and skills you might need to acquire to achieve your career goals. In your self-assessment, don't forget to analyze where you want to live. In China, many people move to big cities like Shanghai, Beijing, and Shenzhen in search of a good career and convenient life. While there may be more opportunities to advance one's career, there is also a lot of pressure. Some people prefer to live and work in a smaller city instead, because they can have a better work-life balance. While there aren't as many career opportunities, they feel having a balance in their life is more important. Deciding where we want to live is important when planning our career development. And the amount of pressure we can handle is a big factor in determining where we should live and pursue our career. Second, you need to consider your career options and identify which roles are suitable for you based on your abilities and interests. If you're not sure which careers may be a good fit, a good place to start is to get familiar with some career development theories. These will give you a blueprint that can help you follow the best career path for you. Each development theory has its own approach, so it's good to try a number of them. One set of theories is called strength-based approaches. These theories focus on one's strengths and successes. These approaches also focus on addressing barriers that may be stopping one from moving forward. They also empower the employee by acknowledging his or her strengths. Another theory is the transition theory by Nancy Schlossberg. This theory focuses primarily on specific times in life when change is occurring. Transition theory analyzes life changes and strategies to measure or control transitions. Examples of these changes could be changes in roles, relationships, or routines. These changes have different impacts on each individual, and success depends on how well individuals can cope with each change. Using career assessment tools is a great way to help you to discover a career that relates to your strengths and interests. Part of knowing the right career path for you is knowing your purpose and passions. For example, Elon Musk's passion for physics and ability to innovate led him to become the founder of SpaceX. Once you've figured this out, it's time to move on to the third step, deciding on your goals. Carefully consider the information you have gathered. Start by considering your career goals for the next 2 years. What do you want to be doing in 2 years' time? What about 5 and 10 years' time? This kind of thinking helps break down big-picture career strategy and planning into manageable pieces. By having these set goals, you'll be able to avoid resting on your laurels. In this fast-paced world, you'll never move forward in your career if you do this. You need to keep upskilling yourself. When searching for the right career, find a company that offers professional training programs. Good companies make an effort to develop their employees. If your company does not have these programs, look online for programs to develop your skills. This is especially important if you're working in a field unrelated to your major. You'll have to work much harder than someone who has already majored in that field. Otherwise, you'll be left behind. Of course, if your work is based on what you've studied, you have a big advantage. But it's important to not let your advantage slip away. All domains are continuously progressing. What was cutting edge when you started your career may not always be so. You've got to keep up with the latest developments in your field. Step 4 is developing and implementing your career strategy. Remember that planning will increase your chance of success. And don't forget that it's important to remain flexible and open-minded. It's very likely you'll have more than one option that interests you. As you move forward in your career, your ideas might become more specific. If you need help developing and implementing your career strategy, getting guidance from a career coach is a good idea. Often, they will use one or more career development theories to help you map out the best career plan for you. The fifth step is to review and adjust your career strategy. View your plan as a guide and allow space for adjustments and changes to your approach. Use your experiences to help you achieve your goals. Also remember the career strategy you put in place at first may not be relevant once you have achieved certain goals. So, you'll need to revisit your strategy and make adjustments along the way. Remember that things don't always go according to plan. Things change, often unexpectedly. Be ready to make adjustments according to situations. Map out possible areas that could change and have alternatives to your original plan. One must be able to adapt in order to survive in the career world. My final tip is to do self-reflection. Reflecting helps you to develop your skills and review their effectiveness. It is about questioning what you do and why you do it, and then deciding if there is a better way of doing it in the future. In any role, reflection is an important part of learning. For example, if you are a chef, you wouldn't use a recipe a second time around if the dish didn't work the first time, right? You would either adjust the recipe or find a new one. It's all too easy to become stuck in a routine that may not be working effectively. Reflecting on your own skills can help you identify changes you might need to make. Here are some great reflective questions to ask yourself. What are my strengths? What am I good at? Am I organized? What are my weaknesses? Do I need to develop a skill more? What problems are there at work that may affect me? What hinders me from progressing at work? What have I achieved? What do I want to achieve? Are there things that I am unhappy with? What makes me happy? What could I do to improve in all of these areas? Now, let's quickly review what we discussed today. First, we discussed the importance of career development. Second, we talked about internal and external factors which affect career development. And third, we explained tips for helping us reach our full potential. So, what is your career path like? Do you have a plan for your career? Are you actively following it? Are there any actions you would like to take to help develop your career? Remember that you are in charge of your career development. Be not passive, but active in driving your career forward to reach your fullest potential. Well, everyone, that's all for today's class. Thank you for coming, and see you next time.